my dream. And then when we are done with that focus, we're like, okay, let's move on with our day and just put it out to the universe. And that's what I've been doing for past 3 days. So I'm like, okay, let's see how this goes.
That's good. So we are live. Thank you, Uma, for being with me today. Thank you for taking the time from a beautiful Sunday um, to talk about law of attraction. And I hope it will be a beautiful discussion as we are talking about the going live. We have to focus on the focus.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon to each and everyone who's joining us on this beautiful Sunday afternoon or who will be watching us later on in the replay. Thank you so much for your time and your energy. Thank you for joining us. And yes, today's topic is the power of focus,
Now,
which is, go ahead, sir. You were
do
saying something.
do you think that it's important to have in attracting good things in our life or attracting good things for others in our relationships and uh, is it important to focus you
Well,
think
we all know the law of attraction. It's a philosophy suggested, right? That positive thoughts bring positive and negative thoughts brings negative outcomes. So if we are focusing on the positive thoughts, that's what we are going to attract. So yes, absolutely 100%. It's so important to have focus and put your energy into things that you want for yourself, for your family, for others. Absolutely. Absolutely. Focusing, and do you focus on multiple things? Because as humans, we all want many, many things. So, do we
that,
keep all the tabs open because we want 10 different things? Or do we keep one tab open and we focus on one thing? Let's,
uh,
let's,
this
let
this is a very high challenge. I just want to acknowledge that Salim Riza is with us. Thank you very much for being with us. Maybe you can tell us where are you watching from, and it is so important that the other day I watched a mastermind, and one of the public speakers, Ray, said we. Uh, we are focusing on
Mm.
a gap between what we want to achieve based on our circumstances and the reason that we want to achieve that. And the reason might be just because our ego most of the time, or we focus on or we establish unrealistic targets or goals. And the higher the gap, the lower the possibility to reach. It's obviously is the law of less resistant path. But this gap, most of the time, is it's artificial. We just want to achieve something that we have no idea how we're gonna do that, how we're gonna get there. First, second, it is not in it is not congruent with who we are, with our environment, our circumstances, with our power.
So are
And
you saying that, sorry, so are you saying that so we are not in aligned with what it is that we want or whatever our desires are?
yes, and it is something that we don't want for ourselves. We just want for um, somebody else, for something else, for it is not that gap that we focus on or we shouldn't focus on. It creates um, kind of a huge bump for us to attract that thing. For example, I want to fly to the moon, right? That's a very nice wishful thinking, and um, most likely I will never fly to the moon. First, second, why would I? To demonstrate what? Just to come back and say, "Hey, I'm the guy who flew to the moon." No, it's whatever we wish has to align ourselves, with ourselves in the universe. And
So you're saying to have attainable goals.
exactly, you have to have attainable goals. You have to have a plan, and also, but the most important thing is to focus on. You cannot focus on something that is not realistic. You cannot focus on something that is not attainable, as you said, and it's just something from imaginary or science fiction. A lot of times we focus on things that we shouldn't. It's not only, in my humble opinion, it's not only that we focus on negative things, on positive things, but even if we focus on positive things, there are some of the things that we shouldn't focus on because they are, yes, they are positive. They, they are goals, but they do not belong to us.
So then how do we know what belongs to us?
Well, think about this gap, and the lower the gap, the more belong to you. Because if you really feel that you want to achieve something, you have to focus on that and see if uh, belongs to you.
So how do we discover that?
Well, we focus on one thing at a time, as we talk about, and we say, yes, okay, um, I want to achieve this goal. And does this goal or this journey has anything and everything to do with me or to others? Do I have to demonstrate that maybe I am uh, something that I'm not? Maybe I am, oh, I am very confident. Are you? My goal by the end of the week is to have that confidence that I can achieve anything that I want. But if it doesn't align to you, that's fine. Focus on something closer to you before you uh, put in your mind that you want to achieve something that is unrealistic. Suni is with us. Thank you very much for being with us today, and
Thank you, Sunita.
we hope that we bring some value, and maybe you can jump in and argue if you don't agree. What do you think?
So you have to have attainable goals, things that can be achievable, but then I'm going to put a little wrench or throw a little wrench on it, sir, and see. So when we look at law of attraction broad, right, it says, okay, put a goal that you've never thought you can achieve. Write that goal and put it out to the universe. What about that? Something that you think you cannot ever achieve and you put it out there. But yet, we're talking about putting out there what can be achieved, what that is attainable.
And also, what is it that is related to us? And also, is it our true desire to achieve that goal?
Right.
Does it change our life in better, or people around us in make it greater? Do we make a difference in others people's life or in our life as well? So the focus, uh, just put it out there and say, yeah, I want to have 10 houses by the end of the month. Well, the law
That's
of
very
attraction,
nice, right? That's very nice, but is it attainable? Let's be realistic when we come up with our goals
exactly. And
and
also,
have a plan.
you have to be in that state that you are the owner of the 10 houses, because the law of attraction and the universe might play a trick on you and give you by the end of the month 10 houses, and you have no idea what to do with them. You are lost, and your life is worse than before.
Correct. You become, either more stressed, more worried. Okay, what do I do? How do I work? I mean, because again, I think going back to it, you have to have a plan. When you have a goal, you should at least have a plan. If not, you meditate on it. You leave it to the universe. You ask for directions. You ask for guidance. You ask for ways that can help you focus on what it is that you should you should be at. I don't know if I'm making any sense. So when you have that, it's like the universe will show you the path. Universe will bring those people into your lives and will show you the path, will lead you to the path. But you have to have that open mind. And again, like you said, having that attainable goal and having that smaller gap can really lead you to something that is amazing.
Yes, that's true. And the focus is one of the uh, important pieces of the puzzle. Let me tell you a little story. Um, I just changed a faucet, and it was rotten. One of the nuts broke, and it took me so much effort and so much trying, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to break the sink, but
Yeah.
also I needed to change it. Until I realized that I was focusing on the wrong things.
Yeah.
I should have focused on what's the root cause and how do I solve the problem, instead of focusing on the general thing. Oh, I have to change it. Oh my God, why is this happening to me? Why cannot be easier? Why cannot, it's just to screw it, and that's it? No. Why did it break? And then focusing, and I just stopped. I just stopped. Say, hey, I'm focusing on the wrong thing. What's the thing that I want to achieve? Let's focus on that, and let's break it down step by step. And slowly and surely, I got it changed. It might have taken a longer period of time. It might have, had something broken, and then I could have had a bigger problem. But focusing on a goal and having that gap as small as possible, the gap between what you want to achieve, is it aligned with you, and the the end result. That's the focus that we have to focus to have it all the time. Another thing is, think about it. We are talking about having you're focusing on a lot of things at the same time, because it is, in our life, you have to focus on family, on children, and then you have to focus on the job. Then you have to focus on the things that you have to solve, and you have to focus on this and that. And at one point, you can focus on 10, you have to focus on 10, 15, 20, or more things.
Hmm.
And that, in my opinion, divides your energy
Yep.
into 10, 15 things.
Yep.
Instead of focusing on one thing, solve it, next thing, solve it, and so on. A lot of times people talk about how they call it. Are you multitasking?
Yeah.
Well, really, multitasking is very inefficient because it divides your energy into different smaller uh, quantum energies that you allocate to each goal. So it depends what you do. For example, if I'm on a computer and I eat, then yes, I'm multitasking, but also there are complementary actions. But if I am on a computer and I talk to somebody else and then I listen to music, or this is very uh, inefficient because our focus is divided so much in different
Yeah.
areas.
Because as humans, we get distracted so easily with anything and everything. And then on top of it, even if you're watching TV, you have the phone with you, you're, scrolling through, you're trying to listen to the webinar, you have the TV and somebody's talking to you. It's like, but you're responding, but it's not your 100% that you're giving to one thing. And I personally been, at times I'm like, okay, great. I can focus on one thing at a time and I can get it done and it's beautiful. It's perfect. Lately, I think I was telling you that I catch myself having so many tabs open in my head. It's like I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to get this done. And it's just then ends up to me, it feels like just a check off. Okay, it's done, it's done. But is it really done 100% to my satisfaction? No, sometimes it's just, again, just a check off. Is it okay? Might be okay for certain things, but not really. Because, again, what you put out, that's what you get back in return. Because that's how law of attraction works. So if you're putting your 100% of energy into something, well, it's going to come back with 100%, not only 100%, but 1000% back to you. So it is so important to focus. And personally, what helps me focus is to meditate, or even, people can call it so many different things, doing yoga. Yoga helps to focus, to become more aware, to even sit for 2 minutes and just sitting with your thoughts, and you will realize that if you're focusing on your breathing, the thoughts are constantly going. You can choose to stop at a certain thought and say, oh, it's like going through a catalog. Oh, I like this thought, I'm going to focus on this one. Oh no, these I'm going to kind of just let it pass. But again, practice. I think practicing it every day is the only way that can help us get better with focusing, with meditating, with becoming aware of our own selves. Because do we really know who we are? Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Because there's so many questions out there. So again, I think focusing is so difficult because society and us, we are raised as we should be multitasking. We should be doing all these at once and should be doing it at 100% at all times. It doesn't work like that. The outcome is not 100% then.
And it is also, I think, if we think about focus, is the intensity of how much do we focus on something, and also the time. Don't spend great time on little things.
Yeah.
So deciding, and you're right, practicing. makes us better and better on focusing uh, with low intensity and short time on small tasks, and high intensity and long time on bigger goals. But focusing on something and not lose sight,
Yeah.
we are, and it's so true. In today's day, it's so easily to be distracted, to forget about the task. Oh, I forgot. I should have had, doing this, and I totally forgot. I'll do it tomorrow. Some people call procrastination. Of course,
Hmm.
that's a lack of focus because
Yeah.
you didn't focus on it because it wasn't important for you, and you thought that something else was more important, and you
Hmm.
just lost sight of it and focus on something else.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. I mean, it's for me, it's like, okay, when I wake up, okay, start your day or try to start your day with saying the affirmations, right? How you want your day to go, and then you release it. But how can you even do that if you are struggling to focus? So, again, to me, with anything and everything, it's practice. If you don't practice, you're not going to get better at it, and of course we're all humans. Some days it's just not going to happen, and that's okay. But that's when practice comes into play, because your brain will automatically, no matter where you are, what you're doing, and you're having the most difficult day of your life, but guess what, your brain is so trained that it will bring you back to that,
Yeah.
because you trained it. So it's up to us how we want to live our life, what it is that we want, and of course, set goals that has the smaller gaps. Then of course it can, go bigger and bigger. But like you said, sir, you have to be in aligned with the universe and what it is. Somebody's giving you 10 houses by the end of the week or end of the month. Okay, you're going to be lost. It's going to be even more stressful for you. Well, you know what? That one house would have been just sufficient. And then taking it, step further. Absolutely, absolutely. Focusing on one task at a time, which then can be attained, I don't know, faster, sooner, and with more clarity.
Think about this. Think about a train, right? A train when starts from the station, from when departs from the station, has to have a lot of momentum to put all the pieces in the motion. It's the same as our focus. We focus on one thing, and it might take a little, it might take a lot, but the amount of energy that we put in our focus counts. that's that's I think is very important to see how much energy do I put in this goal or this task. Do I have to put my whole energy for a whole day, or it's just a little, focus on it, get it done, and move on.
It's when you were talking about the train example and the energy, and what I saw, it's like full force, like a rocket taking off with all that energy, and letting it release. And that's what came into my head when you were talking about the train. But then the thought that this morning, you know, since we decided on this topic, I've been going back and forth. And this morning we ended up waking up super duper early because of the weather and whatnot. And I was scrolling through my phone, and on Instagram, this is the picture that popped up. And I'm like, wait, what's happened? I'm going to show it to you, and then I will read it. um I don't know if you can see it.
Focus. That's that's extraordinary. How did you, what did you search for focus or you just
No,
pull it up?
no, I did not search for focus. I did not search for anything remotely close to it on Instagram. There are a lot of pictures, and one of them was this one focused, and I'm like, wait, that's our topic for today. I'm like, I'm like, what are you trying to say, universe? You hear me? Are you listening to my conversations with Relu? What's going on? But I'm going to read it if that's okay.
Yeah, sure.
It says focus. It says you can't mess up what's meant for you, and no one else can screw it up for you. Rather than worrying about what might go wrong, what if you focused on what might go right? What would your world be like if it all turned out even better than you can imagine? Close your eyes and feel the beauty of a reality where it all works out. Stay with it until you feel it, and let the inspiration and excitement from this fuel you up. What you focus on expands. You will experience more of whatever you focus on. Direct your focus to imagine a heaven on earth for you, your family, and humanity, and witness the magic it all unfold.
That's beautiful. That's so nice,
Yeah.
and it's in alignment with not with only with our topic today, but also with our thoughts,
Yeah.
because that's what we shall do and what we should do is to focus on how do we want to be, how what do you want to achieve, where do you want to go, where do we what do you want to be.
Yeah, exactly. Even the picture itself, I think it speaks so much personally to me. I mean, that just
Yeah,
focusing on that picture itself, it's like so powerful. It's like when you so to me it speaks even louder than the words, that if I
exactly.
stare at this even for like, a minute, I feel like I am in alignment and I get the energy and I feel the vibration and I feel like I am flying high. I don't know if that makes sense, but
It
that's the
makes
energy I get from it.
exactly because it's you focus not only with your thoughts, but you focus on with everything you are and you have,
Yeah,
and it's so powerful.
it's yeah, it's just fascinating to see something like that, and then you get the energy from it and you're like, oh wow, I feel the vibration. It's like, okay, I feel super high, and it's like, oh, I can do anything. But again, I am in alignment. This kind of gave me reassurance that, okay, I'm on the right path and we're gonna be good. We're gonna be okay. It was just that I guess I was looking for that reassurance, and it showed up.
Exactly, and
Showed up.
when we talk about focus, I always picture in my mind when I was a kid. I found one of my grandmother uh, lentils on the grasses, and I uh, I learned from somewhere, probably from school, and it was a sunny day, and I put it and I light up a piece of paper. So
Hmm.
focusing the sun waves to that little point long enough that you will see the smoke coming out, and this is what we I think a parallel or a metaphor for focusing is.
Yeah, that's powerful. I like that.
So I think we reached the 30 minutes mark.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, the time flies so much because when you focus on something, you focus in your with your time, with your energy, with everything else. And I want to thank you very much, Uma, for being with me today, and for everybody else who is watching, who will watch in replay our little live, and hopefully you'll get a little uh, golden nugget from it.
Yeah.
And we'll keep in touch. Thank you
Yes.
very much,
Absolutely.
and stay focused.
Yes. Focus and practice every day. 2 minutes, 2 minutes. That's my goal every day before bedtime. That's what I learned, and that's what I'm going to put into practice. So let's all work on it together.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much, and be well, everyone. Thank you for joining.
Thank you. Have a beautiful
Thank
day.
you. You too.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.